afternoon. Thank you for joining me with Cues with Dogs. Today we are going to discuss turning triggers into cues and how I've chosen to do that so that I have a better understanding of how to personally use gray rocking, which is basically a non-response to emotionally abusive behavior. Gray rocking is a solution. However, oftentimes when solutions are presented, how we perceive that is not necessarily part of the solution problem. And perception is incredibly important to me because it helps me to integrate that information into who I want to be and who I choose to be. Oftentimes, victims of narcissistic abuse have a tremendous amount of self-doubt in regards to who they are, their good qualities and their bad qualities. They're not quite sure how to use those things. So what I found to be absolutely vital to me is that when I feel a trigger, to immediately become internal about who I'm choosing to be and to let go of all of the stuff outside of me in regards to what is creating that trigger. So the very first, most important part of this all is that when you have a trigger, what it's basically saying to you is create a safe place for yourself. And that's imperative so that you can come out of those defense mechanisms and back to a calmer state of mind. So the very first thing that I want to share with you is it's going to be important to create excuses to get out of those situations. I have a few that I use that I find useful. I can't talk about this right now. And quite honestly, I can't. I'm in a defense mode. So whatever's going to come out of me in that moment is going to be defensive, which is going to create defensiveness in the other person as well, or validate their reason to attack me. So I don't want to justify my behavior. I don't want to make excuses for it. I just need to leave to take care of myself. So no, I can't talk about it right now. I have something I need to do. And what I need to do is take care of myself right now. I don't have the capacity at the moment because I'm in a defense mechanism to take care of you. The only time I can take care of another human being is when I am in an integrative state, calm, relaxed. I'm able to absorb and figure out and allow the part of my brain that integrates to function. So make an excuse. I don't care what it is. And maybe don't even make an excuse verbally. Just walk away and get to a place where you feel like you can safely calm yourself down. I've chosen to break these down into elements of the earth that we live in. And I do that because I always want to create a repetitive pattern in my brain so that I can build stronger neural pathways so that my responses, as opposed to my reactions, become stronger to my triggers than reacting. So the first one that we're going to address is wood. And wood is a simple one because, and all of these are non-response things. Just get to a safe place and practice these. The trigger is the cue to create the safe place and then to practice getting back into your integrative, grounded self. So wood is about a response to your fawn mechanism. Fawn mechanism is about validating your external world in order to create safety for yourself, meaning whatever you say is okay. Oh my gosh, you're so wonderful. It's creating a very safe place for somebody else to be, even though you may not necessarily feel safe. So what would happen if you didn't validate at that moment? What would happen if you stopped validating? What would happen if you said nothing? So why is this important? Because I believe when we're trying to have a relationship with somebody, oftentimes we exclude the idea or the need to have an environment that feels safe to us so that we can share and we can connect in a respectful way. One of the ways that we do this is by giving information to the other individual that something doesn't feel safe to us. But with narcissistic abuse, any request that you make will be belittled, or it will be minimalized, it will be ignored, it will be twisted. So they are never going to be a safe place for you. And that's a very important acknowledgement that you need to understand. Even in their ability to compliment you, to pretend to create a safe space for you, if you've been in these relationships long enough, you know it's a lie. The emotional abuse is going to continue to happen. So that's wood. The next one that I'd like to talk about is water. And this one is rain. I have two for water, rain and ice. This one's the rain. And that's an acronym for relax, accept, information, and no attachment. What do those things mean? It means, okay, I need to relax. I can relax. Relaxing is my goal. I need to accept that this is the choice, this behavior that is happening to me is somebody else's choice. And they're creating an environment that makes me feel like I don't have a choice. So I need to accept that they're not giving me choices. It doesn't mean I don't have choices. I'm making the choice to accept it. It doesn't mean I approve of it either. That's a completely different thing. Information. Dogs do this all the time. They put the nose to the ground and they're trying to gather information in order to feel calm. If you need to, do some research. Find out about that specific behavior that's creating a trigger for you. Knowing what it is the first part of creating a solution for it. The non-attachment is understanding that you do not have control over other people's behavior. Other people's behavior is a result of their choices to behave that way. It's like creating a bubble around you. You're not going to let emotional energy into you, and you're not going to project your emotional energy onto someone that isn't safe. Preferably never projecting your emotional energy. So that's rain. The next one is ice. And again, that is a response to the freeze mechanism. The physical action is no response. And this encourages you to go get a cold compress, put it on the areas where your veins run through, put it on the top of your head, go take a cold shower, chew on some ice. Anything that's cold is going to very helpfully reset your parasympathetic nervous system, which is part of the vagus nerve. So all of these things are cues for you to help yourself and not focus on the external world. The next one is grounding. And ground is a response to flight. This one, I've gone over the senses in regards to dogs, how they vary from ours. Accessing your senses is going to help you to access how you feel emotionally. So I think this is really important because it brings you closer to who you are and further away from expectations of other people. So the first one is taste. I'll pop a mint in my mouth. I'll chew some gum. The second one is smell. I'll breathe in and I'll try to identify 2 smells. The next one is sounds. I'll listen for 3 different sounds that I can hear. And all of the things that I'm listening for, I do not want related to the external environment that I was just coming out of. They need to not be associated with them. Just random, neutral things. The fourth one is sensations. I'm going to feel 4 different things. I'm going to touch them and feel the textures. 5 is sight. I'm going to look for 5 different things and genuinely acknowledge what they are. This is all going to help me ground. It is going to detach me from what is happening in the exterior world and bring me closer to what I feel in regards to bringing myself to a space of calmness. I call it a beautiful distraction. The reason why this is important is because you're constantly creating memories. If you stay in that situation, then you're going to create a negative memory for yourself, which if you have complicated post-traumatic stress syndrome, which I think I haven't been diagnosed with it, then those memories that are in here keep coming forward. So this is an activity that allows you to put neutral memories in there so that you're not accessing more negative memories. Super valuable. Okay, next one is air. This one's a really good one for me. I have a tendency to faint when I'm under narcissistic attack. Used to think they are seizures. I somehow don't think that they are quite what I thought they were. I think that it is my natural defense mechanism. And as I joked before, faint is a really great response because what can you do with it? So if I start to feel that anxiety or that trigger coming on, I'm going to start doing box breathing. Box breathing is 3 seconds of breathing in through your nose, holding it for 3 seconds, exhaling for 3 seconds, holding it for 3 seconds before you inhale again. It's basically a circle, and I love that one. I have an alternate nose breathing that I do where I hold one nose, I inhale, and then I exhale through my mouth, and then I hold the other nose, inhale, exhale through my mouth. I count breaths. Sometimes I'll only focus on breathing in and out, and it doesn't matter how I'm breathing, I'm just focusing on the breathing in and out. The other 2 things that help reset your parasympathetic nervous system is forcing yourself to yawn. I'm pretty good at it. So here you go. So that sets it. Humming is another wonderful way to reset your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, and the final one is fire. That is a response to your fight mechanism, and this one is an awesome one. This is when your trigger is super, super high. You need to acknowledge what you are doing in the moment. You need to take your focus off from what is happening to you in your exterior environment. And being in a safe, calm place helps you to do this. So FIRE is an acronym for free. You are free to make your own choices about who you want to be. This is one of those moments, and you are strong enough to be exactly the person that you want to be. Nobody has a right to that, and you can do that right now. Inspiring. You are going to mirror behavior back to the abuser of the behavior that you want for yourself. I cannot tell you how many times I have been like, can you just leave me alone? So when I say, can you just leave me alone, I'm asking them to. When I walk away, I'm doing the action of leaving me alone. So that's inspiring because you give them an opportunity to walk away from you as well. And when they do, wow, that's wonderful. Not only for you, but for them too, because they now have choices. Responsible. You are responsible for your own behavior. You are responsible for not harming people. And wow, look at you doing that. You are removing yourself so that you don't project your fight mechanism the way that they project it. You're not telling somebody else in the exterior environment you need to change. What you are actually doing is you are changing yourself. And that, my dear, changes everything. Finally, enlightened. Think about it. How many people are enlightened enough to want to explore their reactions and their responses? The more you do this, the more you are going to realize that people are not doing this. And you should feel good about that. This energy of fighting should genuinely transform into all these beautiful things that you are doing for yourself. And now you can integrate that trigger as a cue to something that helps you to become more of who you are, not falling into the expectations that often arrive from the external world. So anyways, those are my elements. That's how I use them. I've noticed in dogs that there's an ascension in the elements. I try to share those with you in that ascension mode so that you understand that you can do it whenever you feel a trigger, but when you feel the strongest trigger, what you need the most is, because that's the fight trigger, is you need that fire trigger. Do it for yourself. Stop trying to change them. They will change when they want to change, and they will change when they see examples of how to utilize better behavior. But don't expect it. That's what all of this is about. No expectations. If you're going to have expectations, have them of yourself. Anyways, thanks again for joining me. Cues with Dogs. Wonderful discussion. I'll chat with you later, Gators. Bye.